Welcome to Laying Fallow. I'm Donna Von Bruning. Today I speak with Molly Goodge. Full disclosure, Molly is my niece. She graduated from Chardon High School in the suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio. After a year at home and going to community college, she is pursuing a degree in biology at my alma mater, The Ohio State University. She will graduate in May of 2025 and will pursue a career in medicine. Where did you go to high school? How did COVID affect your senior year? Like, did they give you a hard start, hard stop? Like, what happened those last 3 months? And then what did they do for a graduation for you?
Okay, so I went to Chardon High School. It's about 50 minutes east of Cleveland. And my senior year, I think we made it to about January-ish when I knew that something was going to happen with the rest of the senior year. Softball tryouts started. Then we had about 2 weeks of practice. And then our coach pulled us in and told us that our spring break trip was canceled. And then we just knew that the rest of senior year was going to be gone. Senior season, yeah, all that. We did go online for, I think, 2 weeks they started with, and then completely cut school for the rest of the year. And then come May for graduation, they did all that they could. I mean, you couldn't have more than 10 people in a 6 feet range distance. So they ended up doing a drive-through for us. So we had our stadium, and then you would just drive up with the stage, walk across the stage, shake the principal's hand, and that was it, graduation. And then they did have everybody come together for a drive-in. Yeah, it was a drive-in. And we got to watch everyone walk the stage. And so that was kind of cool. But yeah, it was pretty sad.
I'm going to back up for a second here because everybody's story is so different. So for school, did they tell you senior year, you guys were on classes online, and then did they realize your grades are your grades now, let's just call it good, and the seniors were done? Or did they give you the option to continue saying your grades can't get worse, but they could get better?
They didn't give us the option at all. We had to finish online.
So you went to school through the end of April?
Well, we went, we were in class, but online, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we still had to do everything virtually. We just didn't go to the building. Mm-hmm.
Because that's the first school I've heard of. The other schools of kids that I've talked to around the country, basically they tried the online thing for 2 weeks and they realized these kids are seniors. What's done is done. And they just said, you can opt out. And they all did.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God. They made you go through it, huh?
Yep.
Jeez Louise.
I mean, the first 2 weeks, I don't think we had much work to do. I think it was very minimal. Mm-hmm. But yeah, they still...
Did they make you take finals?
I think we had some sort of final, but I don't think it was anything crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember.
I know. It was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So there was no prom.
No prom.
Did anybody try to have prom? Did parents try to have private proms, they called them?
I mean, we did a lot of get-togethers, friends-wise and teams. We would sit in driveways 6 feet apart. We did a lot of that, but nothing as a class. They would always have a senior picnic for everybody. Didn't do that. I think there were chats about doing a parade of some sort, but that didn't happen either. They wanted to do a movie night on the field. Yeah, a lot of stuff fell through.
So your graduation, basically they built a stage at the school. Yep. And you could pull up in a car and you would get out and cross the stage like you were really graduating, get your diploma, shake the hand and walk down, and then get in the car and leave?
Yep. That's exactly what happened. And they only allowed 2 cars per family. So for divorced parents.
Right.
Mom's car and my dad's car, which was nice.
Well, so you couldn't pull up with 15 cars.
No,
full of people. And then was there somebody right behind you, or did they time it so the cars weren't
It was in alphabetical order. So we started in the student lot and
Okay.
put everybody in order.
Okay, so it was like a parade, a
Yeah,
car parade.
except you didn't get to see anybody.
Right.
They did a good job of decorating and like making it feel like we were driving through like a little show.
Yeah.
And
Did
they
you-
had all the assistant principals and some of the teachers out there waving.
Did
yeah,
you get a
goosebumps.
picture?
Yes, we did get a picture. There were photographers there, and they did record us flipping our tassels.
So you got something. You said it gave you goosebumps thinking about it just now.
Oh yeah, and then
Yeah.
like watching everybody at the drive-in, because that's
Okay.
what they showed was everyone flipping their tassel.
So you went, they put it all together and they put it at a drive-in and you guys could all go and watch it happen.
Yep.
What was that like?
That was pretty cool. I mean, at that point, I think everyone was just over it. Like we were
Yeah.
all so brokenhearted, especially since like senior year is like one of the most important times in our lives. So we all kind of just gave up. We all hung out at each other's cars. All the families were gathered. I mean, there's really no way that they could stop it at that point.
Yeah.
And we didn't get a graduation. So
Yeah. So telling me all of that, tell me what happened. Before I say that, like part of the reason I'm doing this is yes, you guys didn't get a graduation and it's sad. And it's probably a little bit more sad for the parents if you want to know the truth. Like my friends and I were all devastated by it. You wait for that moment for your kid and your life is moving on. But like we worked so hard to get to this place with you guys. But the other thing is you guys lost that launch year to me, which was worse. Like the go away to school, meet a bunch of new friends, try on different personalities, identities, like become who you're supposed to be. And that has been a much more interesting story. So tell me what the past 4 years has been like. What did you think was going to happen and what actually happened?
So I really didn't have any expectations. I did feel really, really lost. We didn't get to finish out our senior year. And I don't remember if I was completely committed to college yet or what, but yeah, I remember feeling very lost and just tried to focus on like my family and my friends more than school purpose for the future. But I was online my freshman year, stayed home. I was supposed to go to Georgia from South, and I couldn't move in because of COVID, couldn't move out of state. And so I stayed home, was online. And then my sophomore year, I ended up moving to Columbus, went to Ohio State. And yeah, the past 3 years now have been great. I don't think a lot of people don't really talk about it because even though there's 60,000 students here, like not a lot of people really remember like COVID year and like what it was like. I feel like a lot of people just kind of blocked it out. And also a lot of people did have like a normal experience. Like there was a lot of kids that stayed in the dorms freshman year. Not normal, but they were still in the dorms. They were locked in or like they couldn't have visitors or, you know, that type of stuff. Some were in single dorms. I never got the dorm experience.
Did you just go to a community college?
Yes.
Okay.
At home.
And then transferred into Ohio State.
Yep.
And so your friends, like what I've heard is the people that did go to school, like you said, a few of them refer to it as like prison. You couldn't leave your door open. You couldn't have people in your room. You had to make an appointment to go get food at the cafeteria, an appointment to go work out at the gym. Everything was online. So it was very isolating. And a lot of them, almost everybody said they struggled mentally. Like it was whether they stayed home, they felt like they were missing out. And the people in the dorms who did go said it was just such a horrible experience.
Right.
And they felt super isolated. So they weren't by family or anything. So they dealt with that.
Yeah.
So now that you recouped and you kind of paved a way at Ohio State, would you say the last 4 years, like when you were a junior in high school and you were thinking, oh, where am I going to go to college? I can't wait. What's it going to be like? Would you say that the last 4 years were what you thought they would be or not at all?
Not at all. And I think it started from not having the dorm experience. I feel like that's It's your first time at college, like everybody's first time at college in the dorms. And you meet so many people. I feel like I missed out on meeting a lot of people and getting involved, I guess, like transferring in and not being in the dorms, being in an apartment off campus. It was very different for me. I still had a great time. I still like met people in my classes and outside of classes and whatnot. I didn't get as involved as much as I wish I would have.
Well, it was hard. If you're in an apartment, it's kind of tough
Right.
to do that sort of thing. So when I went to research this and see like what research is there on the high school class of 2020, there's a lot of research about college because they graduated into a recession and couldn't find jobs, but there's nothing about you guys. But what there is some of the academics or people who did do research labeled what you experienced trauma. Would you consider that to be the correct word? Would you consider it trauma or something else?
I wouldn't necessarily consider it trauma, no. It was definitely a bad experience. I think there's a lot of like smaller words that break down trauma that I would use, like bad experience, heartbreak, but I feel like trauma is a big word for sure.
So you think people were able to recover?
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously in like a big rut for a while, and I feel like I'm still coming out of it a little bit, with just being anxious all the time during that time. But yeah, definitely not trauma.
Yeah. Do you think for you and for everyone around you, people that you saw, that COVID pushed people together or had you hold on to high school relationships longer than you might have? And by relationship, I mean boyfriend, girlfriend, friend groups, anything like that, because you had nowhere else to go.
Yes and no. I do want to say too, though, COVID itself, like the actual virus, I think could be like traumatizing. I mean, with my brother, even like you never knew. That's like very scary.
Right.
Or like my mom working in healthcare.
Yeah. Your brother has cystic fibrosis. So that's why that was always in the back of your mind.
Right.
Like the high school relationships.
Being home freshman year. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it would have looked like if we were to move away. I did have a boyfriend. I don't know what it would have looked like because he was supposed to go to Ohio University, would have been distant. But yeah, I think we both held on because that was like the only person that we could hang out with, like those driveway hangouts, like I said. But also a lot of my friends did go to college and I would go visit them. That was majority of my freshman year was just college hopping, visiting my friends because they were in Ohio. So
when you went to visit your friends, do you feel like they branched out and made new friends more quickly or as quickly as you would imagine it would happen? Or do you feel like they kind of stayed a little bit isolated and hung on to high school people because it was comfortable and because of COVID, like you're a little bit anxious?
Right. I think a little bit of both, especially with the dorms being so isolated. They weren't allowed. And like, even if you were going out to like the bar scenes, you had to have your mask on. You had to be sitting down all the time. There was only a certain amount of people allowed in the bars. The bouncers were really strict. And like going to classes, like you had to sit so far away from people or you were on a Zoom call. So I think it was definitely difficult for people to make friends. My friends especially, we all held on to each other till about sophomore year. And then we started branching out.
Which normally you think would have happened your freshman year.
Right.
What do traditions mean to you now that you kind of lost a typical high school senior, last half of your senior year where you have like the prom and the senior picnic you mentioned in graduation? Do you hold on to traditions more, treasure them more, or are you just like, whatever, it's fine. Whatever it is, it's fine.
I would say like prom was definitely, that was a hard time. My softball season was definitely even worse. That was a really hard time to get through just because we look forward to our senior sports season, a whole high school career.
Like, how do you feel about your upcoming graduation? Are you going to walk? Like, does it mean a lot to you or are you indifferent?
Yeah, no, I'm indifferent.
Yeah.
Like, of course, I want to go walk, but also I'm at such a huge school. It's pointless.
It's not pointless.
Well,
Well, I'm trying to remember. Do they do department graduations? So like you would do a biology graduation and then the big graduation in St. John's or the stadium.
for spring graduation, they just do it all together. They have you split into your major, and then at the end, you just walk down and get your diploma. But I think it's a little more personalized in the winter or in the fall. I'm pretty sure they have like specifics of the majors.
Are you December now or May?
I could graduate in December.
Are you
but-
going to hang out a little bit longer?
Well, I have to get those 2 classes for my application for AA school. And also, I'm going to be on vacation when graduation is.
Oh, so you're going to wait till May?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm also considering maybe an ASL minor now,
Oh,
which is only 2 more classes for me.
that's fantastic.
But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Got it. We'll see.
I've made it this far, so.
Exactly. Enjoy it. Talk to me. Tell me what was your greatest loss in the past 4 years? And it could be anything. It could be a person, obviously. It could be an opportunity you lost. It can be a part of your personality, anything.
I was going to say personality, actually. I feel like in high school, not that I'm comparing myself now to high school, because I know we grow up and we change and mature, but I was always like such a bubbly, like, did not care what people thought, like, for the life of me. Always happy-go-lucky. And then I feel like when I came to Columbus specifically, I lost that part of me. I was anxious all the time, still am. I'm not as open as I used to be. I've always been an introvert, but in high school, I was more of an introverted extrovert because, like, I was obviously around those people all the time, 24/7, and, like, so comfortable. And, like, we did the same things every day, every week. It was very repetitive for me. And I think, like, obviously coming to college is a huge change for everybody, but it was very hard going back to, like, not being in the dorms, not having that opportunity to, like, open myself up around all these people that are going through the same thing as me. So, yeah.
How do you or did you grieve that loss?
I try to, like, focus on it, like, one day at a time. I think, like, I would make a new friend and I would get all excited, and then they would introduce me to their friends, because a lot of my friends, like, grew up in Columbus, so they had their high school friends there with them. That opened me up to a lot of opportunity too, to meet new people. I think I focused on school a lot at first, and then once I realized I was capable of talking to people, yep, it became a little bit easier. But I don't think I grieved it as
Mhm.
much as, like,
Coped.
yeah, I kind of just, like, got over that little hump.
So what you're telling me is super common. Almost everybody talked about the mental struggle that they did not expect to have because of what they went through. Like everything you're saying, like losing friends, being unsure of yourself, not where to go, not knowing where to go, what to do next, and being so isolated. And then having to force yourself to go out and meet people and push yourself into that. Every single person mentioned it. So you are not unusual at all. Tell me what the greatest lesson of the past 4 years has been.
Don't take advantage of the time that you have. I don't know, that's a tough one.
When you mean don't take
Concept-wise,
advantage, like don't,
live every moment.
you mean
it's
take
fun.
advantage of the time you have.
Yeah, take advantage, sorry.
I was like, that doesn't make sense, Molly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Just I try to focus on, like, cherishing all of, like, work, even school, like, everything that I don't want to do every day, but I still have to do it. And
Sort of like you only come this way once, so
right.
enjoy it.
Yep.
Tell me, so after you guys graduated, all these social issues came to the forefront. Like immediately after your graduation, there was the whole Black Lives Matter thing, and then the Me Too movement, and then all this more recently, like the Hamas and the war in Israel and all that, and the campus protests. Has all of that made you more aware or more of an activist, or has it made you desensitized?
Yeah, I'm completely desensitized. I can't stay involved in that. Number one, I don't have time for it. And number two, like people are going to say what they want, do what they want. You can't control it. So I just kind of leave that to them.
Yeah.
Protests were crazy though. I will say, like walking on campus, even we had like SWAT teams on our union.
Really?
It was, yeah, that was a wild time.
So, what was it like up there? Because I will tell you, down in the South, everyone that I interviewed that was down here said it was nearly non existent because the school shut it down immediately.
Yeah, no, it was pretty much impossible for them to shut it down. So they did have SWAT teams come out. They had people fighting, cops arresting people.
Really?
Still just like tons of people swarming the Oval.
Would you say hundreds or thousands?
Thousands for sure.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
For how long?
I think it happened one like Thursday night.
When it got out of hand?
Yeah, that was when it got out of hand. But they also had like stuff written on the sidewalks. People were standing during the school day. People were just like standing around with signs or tables, stuff like that. But I think maybe one other night it got bad. And then also they did have the cops honestly like helped them with the protests. They would close down the roads. We had one up on like North Campus area, but it wasn't on campus. It was right next to it, like on the street, closed down the roads for them to protest. So I guess that's what it's like living in a city.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, because Ohio State's in the middle of a city. You're the first person that has told me that, but you're also probably the first person that I'm interviewing from a school that isn't in the South.
Yeah.
Talk to me about social media. How do you use it? What effect do you think it has on your daily life?
I would say I'm like a frequent user. I think as much as I know it doesn't help my mental health, it helps to like get my mind off of everything else while I'm scrolling on social media. I don't think I post a lot. When I do, it's very simple. Yeah.
What do you use? TikTok, Instagram?
Yeah, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook.
All of it, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You guys were the first digital natives. So your age, like 22, 23, where, I don't know, when did you get your phone? Middle school? Sometime?
Grade, yeah.
Yeah. So when you guys started with phones, like Snap and Instagram were like baby apps. Like they didn't have the algorithms and everything. So would you agree, or do you think that you guys have the ability to discern the news or what happens with social media? Like you're aware of getting sucked into it?
Yeah, I think everybody's aware of the disadvantages of social media, but I think like especially now, like 2024, all these people that have become influencers and that are making crazy amounts of money on the internet, it's become like socially acceptable. When I feel like in 6th grade, I wasn't even allowed to have social media. And like my friends would always be like, when are you getting Instagram? And I never cared. I never cared to have it. And then I think it was like 8th grade or something when I got it.
Do you know any kids younger than you? If you do you feel like they have a different experience or interaction with social media?
No,
No.
I think it's the same for everybody.
I ask that because the apps are high powered now for them. Like when you started, there was no doom scrolling. There was no such thing. You know, there were likes, but like you went on.
Ads now. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like with influencing, there's so many ads, so many people trying to promote their products, try to convince you to buy stuff.
Yeah.
Doesn't work on me.
Do you buy a lot of stuff? No, it doesn't work on you.
No, let's go right past those.
What do you think people misunderstand about 22 and 23-year-olds today? People my age.
I think, well, also, like a lot of the people that I watch on TikTok are older and they talk about what they wish they knew at my age. And they're like 30s, 40s. And so I think it's become a lot easier for us to feel like, or to be okay feeling like we're lost because we don't know what our future holds. Even like my boyfriend now, he just graduated in May and he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do. Like there is so much pressure on us, but I think a lot of people realize that like it's okay to not know. That's why I just focus on it day by day.
Yeah, it's all going to work out. It always does. So, kind of what I asked you was more like, what do you think we misunderstand about you? Meaning, not that what you get from us, like people posting, but more like, what do you think we assume about you guys? Like some of the answers people have said is that you're so addicted to your social media that you can't discern the truth. You know, you're not as smart as we were because of it, that sort of thing. You don't have any strong, not really.
I don't know what you guys think. I mean, I could see the social media, but like not everybody is like, you know, like especially like the people I work with.
No, could you work with older people?
No, they're all my age.
Oh, they're all your age.
Actually, most of them are younger, actually. But I could see like us not being as smart as you guys were because of social media. But
some of the people I interviewed said that actually you guys are smarter, or they consider themselves smarter because you have the ability to discern where your information's coming from. Where when we were in our 20s, we got our information from one source.
mm-hmm.
Like it was the newspaper or it was the evening news. Where you guys get information from either side of a story, but you have the ability to understand and discern that that's a jaded viewpoint or a one-sided viewpoint.
Right. I was going to say you can't believe everything that's on the internet. And a lot of the stuff is false. Like, I mean, you hear every day. I got that from TikTok.
And when people say that, what do you think? What's your first reaction?
I roll my eyes in the back of my head. I don't know.
Right.
Most of it is false information. I like the real, like everyday lives that people are like real about.
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to get views and likes and that kind of stuff.
Was there anything that you wanted to share about your experience in the past 4 years that we didn't talk about?
Maybe like my family a little bit.
Okay.
My relationships with my family. Because I've always been like a family girl, but I don't remember being super close with my family in high school. I think like moving away from college made me realize that family is extremely important and those are like the people that you have by your side no matter what. So I tried to nurture those relationships a little bit more when I moved away from home. Not that they all reciprocated it, but at least I was making the effort.
Right.
Yeah, I think like also I think my mom was ready for me to move out a little bit because we've always butted heads, but also me being completely home for a whole year was just not the most ideal thing for our relationship. But when I moved away,
it changed.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of people said that, like how important their family became to them through it. So that's pretty common. All right, last question. What are you going to do with your one big life, Molly, Catherine?
Still in the works.
Yeah, when you are...
I have a long list of dreams.
Yeah?
Well, I plan to graduate here within the next year. I could in December, I would. And then spend about a year to work on my application for anesthesiologist assistant school. Apply by next February.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, like get through school. I love to travel, so hopefully be able to travel during those times as well. I also want to do like real estate investing on the side at some point. I want to have like a whole bunch of small businesses on the side, which I know way beyond me, but I would like to at least have one.
You'll learn.
And then, yeah, I don't know, get married, have kids, all the things.
The American
dream.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I don't have a specific plan, I would say, right
I
now.
think that's a good plan
I do have a lot of things that I want to accomplish.
to check off the list.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, girl.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Laying Fallow. Be sure to listen to the rest of the episodes, and to learn more and see the portraits from both 2020 and 2024, head over to my website, www.donnavonbruning.com, or to my Instagram, @DonnaVonBruning.